The tension between China and Canada over canola exports has reached a new level, with accusations of dumping and contamination causing a major stir. But what does this mean for the future of trade between these two countries? And could it have an unexpected impact on the electric vehicle market? Canada, the largest producer of canola, now faces major losses, while China is left scrambling for alternatives in its biofuel industry. How will this affect farmers, global markets, and even the price of electric cars? Could this be a sign of bigger trade conflicts to come? Well, to know all about this, you have to stay tuned till the end. In recent years, China and Canada have been embroiled in various trade disputes, but the latest controversy surrounding canola has taken the conflict to a whole new level. China has accused Canada of dumping canola into its market at artificially low prices, hurting Chinese farmers. This is more than just a simple economic issue. There are vast implications for both countries and, unexpectedly, the global electric vehicle market. Canola derived from rapeseed is one of Canada's most valuable exports. Canada is the largest producer of canola globally, accounting for about 60% of the world's total supply. The oil extracted from canola seeds is versatile and has numerous uses, from cooking oils to biofuels. In fact, the canola industry is crucial to Canada's economy, generating about 30 billion Canadian dollars annually, which is about 22 billion US dollars. This includes farm revenue, processing, and related industries. Approximately 250,000 jobs in Canada are tied directly or indirectly to the canola sector. The global demand for canola oil has surged in recent years due to its health benefits. It contains low levels of saturated fat and high concentrations of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. This demand has seen Canada exporting up to 90% of its canola production, with China previously being one of the biggest buyers. In early 2023, China escalated its trade dispute with Canada by accusing Canadian farmers of dumping canola into the Chinese market. Dumping, in the context of international trade, refers to the practice of exporting products at a price lower than the cost of production or the price in the domestic market. China claims that Canadian canola is being sold at unfairly low prices, which is detrimental to its domestic producers. This in turn has led to trade restrictions being imposed on Canadian canola imports. China is Canada's second largest market for canola after the United States, importing as much as 40% of Canada's canola exports in the past. However, this accusation has strained the relationship, and China has already reduced canola imports from Canada by over 50% in the first half of 2023. The impact of the dispute on Canada's economy has been severe. In 2022, canola exports to China were worth approximately 2.7 billion Canadian dollars, which is 2 billion US dollars. Since the start of the dumping allegations, the industry has lost around 1 billion Canadian dollars, which is 750 million US dollars, due to lower export volumes and falling prices. Canola prices have dropped by nearly 30% in just 1 year. As a result, Canadian farmers, particularly in the prairie provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, where most of the country's canola is produced, are facing huge financial losses. Canada produces over 18 million tons of canola annually. With China's market now significantly reduced, the question becomes, where will these millions of tons go? While Canada is working to diversify its export markets, tapping into regions such as Japan, South Korea, and the European Union, these markets cannot fully replace the lost Chinese demand. In response, the Canadian government has taken a two-pronged approach, launching a formal complaint to the World Trade Organization and seeking diplomatic negotiations to resolve the issue. However, many believe this dispute could take years to resolve, leaving Canadian farmers in a precarious position. While China's official line has been that Canada is dumping canola and the crops are contaminated with pests, many believe the real reasons are more political. The trade relationship between China and Canada has been tense since 2018, when Canadian authorities arrested Meng Wanzhou, the CFO of Chinese tech giant Huawei, at the request of the United States. In what many viewed as retaliation, China subsequently detained 2 Canadians and began reducing imports of key commodities, including canola. Diplomatic efforts have since been shaky, with both countries retaliating economically. Canada's complaint to the WTO accuses China of violating global trade rules, while China insists it has acted in the best interests of its domestic agriculture. This political standoff has created significant uncertainty for Canadian farmers and exacerbated an already volatile market. The effects of this dispute are not confined to China and Canada. Other countries that rely heavily on agricultural trade with China, such as Australia, Brazil, and the United States, are watching the situation closely. Any disruptions to China's supply chains could shift global markets and create opportunities for new exporters. But it could also destabilize commodity prices worldwide. Global canola prices have been particularly volatile since the start of the dispute. In early 2023, the average price of canola fell to 800 Canadian dollars per ton, down from a peak of 1,000 Canadian dollars per ton in 2021. This price drop has caused ripple effects in the global market, making it harder for farmers worldwide to predict future income and plan their crops. Other vegetable oils like soybean and palm oil have also seen price fluctuations due to the uncertainty surrounding the canola trade. One surprising element in the China to Canada canola dispute is its potential impact on the electric vehicle market. Canola oil is a key ingredient in biofuels, which are seen as an essential alternative to traditional fossil fuels. While electric cars run on electricity, biofuels are crucial in reducing the carbon footprint of other forms of transportation, including trucks, buses, and aviation. Furthermore, biofuels help complement renewable energy initiatives worldwide by providing greener fuel options for industries that are harder to electrify. China, being the world's largest EV market, has been heavily investing in reducing its reliance on fossil fuels. In 2023 alone, China accounted for over 60% of global electric vehicle sales, with more than 6 million EVs sold. The Chinese government has ambitious targets for further reducing carbon emissions by expanding its use of biofuels and increasing its EV adoption rate. However, the canola dispute could hinder these plans. China has been using canola as a primary raw material for its biofuel industry, which is critical to its broader environmental goals. A significant reduction in Canadian canola imports could force China to rely on less sustainable alternatives for biofuel production, potentially slowing down its green energy transition. The effects of the canola dispute might not stop with biofuels. If China struggles to meet its biofuel needs, this could lead to higher production costs for various industries, including electric vehicle manufacturers. While electric cars do not directly rely on biofuels, many manufacturing processes and logistics in the automotive industries do. For instance, the transportation of EV components, raw materials, and finished cars often involves the use of heavy-duty vehicles powered by biofuels. As a result, experts are speculating that if China faces a prolonged shortage of biofuels, it could trigger a price hike in electric vehicles due to increased transportation costs. This would add another layer of complexity to the already fluctuating EV market, where prices have been influenced by supply chain disruptions, battery shortages, and rising raw material costs. What are your views on this? Do you think this debate is legit? Well, let us know in the comment section below, and for more such amazing videos, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, see you in our next video.